Welcome back to my video today, guys. Today I'm going to be sharing with you underrated beauty tips that more people should be talking about. Now, while I'm doing this video, you're probably going to be hearing someone upstairs drilling away. I have been contemplating making this video all day because this person has not stopped. So I just want to apologize now in case he continues. I can hear him in the background like slowly, but sometimes he just really goes in for it and you're going to hear full on drilling. So yeah, apologies in advance. But we've got more important things to talk about, and these are beauty tips. They're beauty tips that have changed my routine, and I know that you're going to love them, and I know they're going to change your routine. So let's head straight into this. Tip number one is powder before foundation. I know it sounds strange, and I know it sounds like it's a little bit backwards, but honestly, it's a game changer for you. Now, if you struggle with shiny T-zone or shiny skin in general throughout the day and you feel like your makeup kind of slides off during the day or even kind of lifts off, then I feel like this tip might actually be a solution for you. Basically, what you need to do is apply your skincare as normal. Now, when you've applied your primer, right, and it's up to you whether you use primer, but I personally would recommend using primer just for that barrier in between your makeup and your skincare. If it's not for anything else, at least just for that. Then you want to wait, I would say about 30 seconds just for it to settle down. And then you want to get your powder. You want to use translucent powder. I would highly recommend Laura Mercier translucent setting powder in Ultra Blur. I would recommend getting the shade that is right for your skin tone. I use the shade which I believe is Honey, and you want to get a fluff brush and you want to dust a little bit onto your cheeks, anywhere that you feel that you get that shine during the day or you feel like your makeup ends up coming off. So for example, your nose, your T-zone, cheeks, wherever you feel that you need it. Dust it on. And then you are going to buff in your foundation. Now, when I say buff in, that means that you get a big brush and you're really buffing it. You're dabbing it into the skin. So you don't really want to go back and forth like this. If you're going to apply your foundation like that, then don't even bother with this tip. But if you are willing to change the way that you apply foundation, 100% use this tip because it's going to completely change the way your foundation sits and looks throughout the day. It's also going to help your foundation to last longer throughout the day. It basically gives your foundation something to kind of just grip hold of, and it's not going to end up moving. Tip number two is choose a warmer base shade to give you more of a healthier glow. Now, that doesn't mean you go like a whole shade deeper or warmer for your foundation. It means that you can actually just mix it with something which is going to give it that really nice healthy glow. So it gives you that really nice sun-kissed look. And when I say sun-kissed, I don't mean bronzed and super tanned. I mean just a very subtle sun-kissed look. Now, that might be, for example, adding something like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter in a kind of warmer shade. You know how she has like so many different shades within that range? Maybe use something which is a little bit warmer than what you would usually go for. That will give you a nice glow, but it will also warm up your foundation. And what I mean by that is you can mix it in with your foundation a little bit, just a small amount. Alternatively, what you can do is get a drop of your foundation on the back of your hand and mix in a very tiny amount of a liquid bronzer that you have. So something like an illuminator, something which is, or even a matte liquid bronzer. So something which is quite that perfect kind of tanned look that you want, but apply the tiniest amount, mix it in with your foundation and apply. You'll be pretty shocked at how it's actually going to make your skin look so healthy and so sun-kissed so quickly. It's a really good way to just stop your skin from looking dull and just look really healthy and glowy and sun-kissed and just the kind of base that everyone wants. Tip three is press, don't swipe your powder. Now, I know a lot of people like using a brush, and I'm all for it too sometimes. Honestly, more so I think when I'm kind of running out of time or I'm late. But I would highly recommend pressing. Pressing everything into your skin is going to be a complete game changer for how your makeup lasts and looks throughout the day. I would highly recommend using a powder puff, not just any puff. I know you get a lot of these cheap ones online from Amazon, which are the triangle ones, and they're just powder puffs. But I would say investing in a really high quality powder puff is worth the money, because these little things that you think are cheap, therefore they're not that important, actually makes a huge difference if you use a good quality one. Now, a couple of ones that I would highly recommend, and I use them myself and I alternate between them. One is the Laura Mercier powder puff, and two is the Makeup by Mario Master Pro puff. Both of these puffs are very, very high quality. I would use them to press into the loose setting powder and then basically press into your skin. Once you've pressed it into your skin, if you have very oily skin, keep pressing it in until it disappears. Then you're done. If you don't have oily skin and you're just looking for it to last all day and you really want that nice flawless finish, press it into your skin, but then grab a big kind of fluffy powder brush with nothing on it and then dust it off immediately. You don't need to bake or anything like that. So I feel like a lot of people associate powder puffs, pressing powder onto the skin with baking. Baking is when you let it sit there for a while. I'm saying don't let it sit there. I'm saying dust it off and you're good to go. Tip number 4 is the hydrating mist and powder puff hack. It's when I know that I've got makeup on all day and I'm not going to have time to basically look at it. I really have very, very little time in between whatever it is that I'm doing, and I need it to last all day, and I need something that's going to be quick, but it's also going to keep everything intact and stay put and freshen it up without looking cakey. Like, I don't want to keep adding powder to my face throughout the day. So what I do is I keep a powder puff. I keep a little kind of very small makeup bag in my bag, something that's small enough that I don't really need to fit anything else other than like a powder puff. So my powder puff is my one that I would always recommend, which is either the Laura Mercier powder puff or the Makeup by Mario Master Pro puff. And what I do is I actually press that into the powder that I use, so probably the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur powder or my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder, and I make sure that I take the obvious bit of powder off of it. So it's just kind of like I flick it usually, and that gets rid of the obvious powder, right? So it's not just all spilling everywhere in the makeup bag. And then I put it in the powder in the makeup bag, right? So that's all that's in that makeup bag, so that the powder doesn't go on anything else. Then what I do, or you can use a Ziploc bag, by the way, that's another alternative to make sure it's like not messy and it's fuss free. Then what I do is I also have a mini hydrating face spray. So you can use a setting spray if you want. I just call them hydrating sprays because I don't think a lot of them actually set your makeup. I keep that in my bag. So for example, you could use a Charlotte Tilbury airbrush spray, whatever it is that's called. They do a mini one. I keep that in my bag. And then what I do while I'm on the go is I basically spritz my face with the spray. I just dry it off. I just let it kind of like really get into my skin. So you got to make sure it's not still wet. Then I get the powder puff and I press everywhere, right? And then another thing I forgot to mention, I keep a brush in my bag, right? So something which is a small brush, and then I just dust off. And that will keep my makeup fresh throughout the day, and it doesn't look powdery or cakey. The reason for the setting spray is the hydrating spray is because what that does is it kind of I don't like that word, but it kind of like stops everything from, it kind of helps to rehydrate the face so that you're not adding powder on top of like gunky makeup, if that makes sense, right? So this is something that works for me, and I think if you do it right, it can work for you too. So you're more than welcome, because I know you're going to love that hack. My next little tip for you is mixing your foundation with a liquid or cream blush. This is an amazing way to actually create your own personalized brush. Now, I'm sure you've kind of had blushes that you've wanted to get because you see it online and they look so amazing, but then you get it and it's highly pigmented or it's a little bit too much for you. I think it's really difficult because you get these blushes which you try on and they're really pigmented, and it's like, okay, what do I do now? Because they're just it's just way too much. Well, a really good thing is basically mixing a very small amount of that blush. If it's a cream, just get a bit on your finger, put it on the back of your hand. Then you're going to get a bit of your foundation and you're going to basically mix it together. Now, what's going to happen, because you've got that perfect bespoke foundation shade that matches your skin tone and you're mixing it with a blush, you're kind of diluting the blush and you're actually changing the shade of it so that it's perfectly personalized and customed to your skin tone, because that foundation is your skin tone color. And what you're doing is adding that blush and it's mixing into the most perfect kind of shade just for you. So then what you're going to do is you're going to get your beauty blender. It can be damp or dry. You're going to get the back of the beauty blender. You're going to dab into this, and on top of your normal foundation, before you've added your powder, you're going to basically buff this into the high peaks of your cheekbone, and it's going to give you the most stunning color. And you're not ever going to have to worry about your blush looking over the top or having to try and like tone it down a little bit, because you've already done that before you've even applied it, and you've customized it perfectly to your skin tone. I think what I really love about this hack is the fact that you can do this and change it while your skin color is changing. So for example, if you're usually quite tanned in the summer, you can add a little bit more of the blush into your mixture. You can really customize it as and when you want. And that's what I love about it, depending on the type of kind of look you want to go for too. Honestly, I can swear to you that all of these like tips and hacks that I've shared with you are tiny tweaks that are complete game changers for your makeup look. There's no complicated steps. It's like no 30-minute routines, just smart habits that are going to completely elevate your makeup look. If you do have any kind of like underrated beauty tips that you do yourself and they're game changer and you think that you want to share it with everyone, let me know in the comments. And please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and also hit that bell button, because doing those 3 little things, it just helps this channel out so much and I would truly appreciate it. And on that note, I'm going to see you on the next video.